January to June, 33 people in North Carolina were killed by their spouse or partner. Domestic violence steals people from their families and their communities, leaving loved ones always wondering why. Their murders may not make sense, but in tonight's 12 Inspires, we show you how their stories are being used here in the Triad to save lives.
Be blessed that you will enjoy this documentary. Thank you.
This is the first viewing of Cynthia Rucker's new documentary about domestic violence. She's dealt with abuse in a relationship before and says it's hard to handle on your own.
It took me years to talk about it, but I'm healed.
Rucker uses the film to encourage domestic violence victims and connect them with resources in the Triad where they can find help. She also amplifies other voices.
I am no longer a victim. I am a survivor.
One dealing with physical abuse, one speaking about emotional and verbal abuse, and another talking about how she found healing.
My goal through my project is to let a woman know you are so valuable.
The last woman you hear from in the film speaks through the voice of her little sister, who can't speak for herself.
Hello, my name is Cheryl Anise Bethea. One thing I can tell you is that my life was unfinished. I just had no idea my life would end in such a tragic way that night.
On August 25th, 2014, Cheryl Bethea was stabbed to death outside her home in Winston-Salem.
I had a lot of bad memories from that.
Her daughter and her grandchild were there when police say Bethea's boyfriend killed her.
Having this right here helped me bring back the good and not the way I seen her.
Bethea's family lost a person they describe as outgoing, ambitious, and beautiful.
In hindsight, I realized that she was in domestic violence, but at that time, you never think that something this serious would happen to your family member or someone you love.
But the truth is, it happens about 60 to 65 times a year in North Carolina. They keep track at the NC Coalition Against Domestic Violence in Durham. Executive Director Dana Mangum says the first half of 2018 wasn't any different.
Unfortunately, since I've been here in the last 5 years, I've not seen it really change from that trend at all.
She says we need diverse resources to serve different populations, community education programs, and other safety avenues for victims who don't want to criminally prosecute their abusers.
I'm making it sound like it's a large problem and a cultural problem and a very kind of big, hairy problem, because it is. It's not something that can just be fixed with some of the things that we've done over the last 30 years. We really need to look at how we are as a culture, what we believe in, what we value.
And she doesn't discount the difference individuals can make. People who take it upon themselves to do something about domestic violence.
I just realized that it's too many women that's living in abusive relationships, that they need a voice, someone to stand up.
Through film and through writing, victims are speaking.
Her voice from the grave has been very impactful.
And their memories are saving other families from heartache.
Please hear me. You do not have the time nor the energy to change or fix him. So get out and get help before the next explosion is not only anger, but hitting. Anger and hitting, but death.
Cassandra started her own nonprofit called Sound the Silence in Domestic Violence, and she's working on writing an entire book from Cheryl's perspective. Cheryl's daughter, Jasmine, also uses her artwork to help bring an end to this problem. And right now, Rucker is sharing her film with different churches and community groups to help people find the courage to leave abusive relationships.
Boy, there are some inspiring folks for sure. What can you tell us about Cheryl's accused killer? Has that case been adjudicated yet? Where do things stand there?
Well, he has been charged with first-degree murder, and he recently had a hearing in Forsyth County Court to determine his mental capacity to stand trial. A judge ordered him to a mental health facility in hopes of rehabilitating him. He'll have another competency hearing after a couple of months.
All right, so a story that, at least in
Not
that
over
respect,
yet.
is not over yet. Brianna, terrific stuff. Thank you very much. Our WXII 12 Inspires series is all about sharing stories of people in this community who are making a difference. If you know an inspiring person or an inspiring group, send an email to newstips@wxii12.com, or if you prefer, send us a direct message on Facebook.